arrested or incarcerated is also still unclear. However, in response to this, Madzabudzabu, you founded the Swaziland Massacre Victims and Survivors Association. Just talk to us about the association, its inception, and what you hope to be able to provide for individuals, families, communities affected by the violence in Eswatini.
Thank you very much from you, and thank you very much for the listeners to get this opportunity. SAVISA was formed after the political unrest in Swaziland, and it's an organization for those who have been affected during this process. It's an organization for the victims, for those who have lost their family members and their friends and their loved ones, and also for those who have been injured during this time. And it was formed to help, one, for the trauma counseling, because we as Swazis, we have been traumatized by this. In Swaziland, it was the first time to see a massacre or a killing of people in this manner. So even those who were not shot, but they were traumatized just to see what has happened. And also for some of us, we have lost our lives. Some of us, we have lost our body parts. And others, they do have those body parts, but they do not function. And others, they are still living with the bullets into their bodies. So SAVISA was formed for that, just to organize, to keep us organized, and to have opportunities of helping one another during this period of time. So that's why SAVISA was formed. And for now, we are still doing an investigation or a data collection of the members, because even now we are not exactly sure of what has happened. In fact, how many people have been killed. For now, we know of about 96 people who have been killed. But the investigation is still going on because the government is hiding, or they are putting everything on secret. It's like there's nothing that has happened. Although we know that they've killed other people and they've took them to special or to outsource these martial things, they never take them to government. And some of the records of people who were dying, they were not keeping them, so that people will not believe that people have died in Swaziland. So we are still working on that. And also even the people who were shot, some of them, they are still afraid because the government or the police and the soldiers have intimidated them on coming out that I was shot by the police. So even today, some are still afraid of coming out or joining or becoming part of us that they've been shot, because police and soldiers have been going in families, intimidating them, telling them that they should not say they've been killed by police, because there's others they tell you that they don't know how were they injured. So we are still also working on that. So there were about 96 people who were killed, and about more than 500 people who were injured. For now, in our list, we've got more than 400 people who came out and say we were injured by the police, we were shot, and they also have got documents from the hospital that prove that they were shot. And we've got more than 1,000 of people who were also arrested. And those people, they also need counseling. They also have to join SAVISA because they also need counseling. So other people, it was their first time to be on the street or to join protest when they face such situations. So for now, that is where we're about. So our business of the day is collecting the data and making sure that everyone is coming up on the list so that we'll start working on our issues.
I think it's important, the information gathering aspect of this, because that's the only way to get institutions, governments, organizations to account, is when there's factual evidence of there having been some sort of wrongdoing. I am curious, though, Madzabudzabu, what sort of support is being offered to victims who are coming forward and joining the association? Are they getting psychosocial support? You've mentioned individuals who are probably suffering from PTSD as a result of the violent crackdown. Are they getting the kind of treatment, the kind of psychosocial support they need in order to move past the violence and return to some semblance of normality?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. In fact, the challenge that we have, before the shootings, we had no organization of this kind. So while we were still at the hospital, there were other organizations who came out. Sorry?
Matsama, please continue.
Okay, I say the challenge is that our organization was not formed before the unrest. It was after the unrest. But while we were at the hospital or during the unrest, there were other organizations who tried to come out and give help to others. But the challenge is that that work is not, and it was not coordinated by us or coordinated. So there are few those who have got counseling, which I doubt is it proper counseling, because sometimes people they lament on us and believe that should be counseling. So even for me, I took more than 6 months to get a counseling. I only get the counseling 3 days ago, and from an outside pastor from Swaziland. That is when I understood what is counseling and the need. So many of our members, they haven't got the counseling. In fact, from those who have spoken to, they say they have not got any counseling on this. It was just people coming and lamenting or saying, no, it's not your first time, you're not the only one. But that's not counseling. Counseling is about dealing more on what happened and giving you a chance to maybe to cough out what has happened, what have you seen, what do you remember. So for now, as an organization, it's what we are trying to coordinate and organize, that we get into a proper counseling. The challenge that we having, it's a source of support, because those organizations who were there helping us, now because we are an organization, we have to speak the facts. They are distancing from themselves from our organization. So we don't find that support except from the foundation, because there's a foundation of justice here in Swaziland who have been with us ever since, who have been helping even in collecting of the data. So now as an organization,
Madzabudzabu, we are unfortunately going to have to leave it there. We've run out of time, but I want to thank both of my guests for joining me there, Siboniso from Pudema, as well as Madzabudzabu, talking to us there about the Survivors Victims Association, galvanizing, mobilizing there to assist those who have been negatively impacted by the Eswatini pro-democracy protests.